Today we have Emmanuel Ikule, who is the National Coordinator of NOPRIN. NOPRIN is the Network on Police Reform in Nigeria. Mr. Emmanuel has been doing a lot of work together with his team and is here today. Mr. Emmanuel, please, can you tell us what your team, that is NOPRIN, has been doing with police reforms in this country?
Okay, NOPRIN Foundation is a network of 67 NGOs in Nigeria. We have member organizations in the 36 states of the country. And NOPRIN itself, we work towards providing opportunity for civil society involvement in policing. And over the years, we have done a lot as regards to trying to improve the police. And we have worked in the area of trying and accountability in trying to get document cases of abuse to come together for them to be able to interface more. Another level, have an umbrella body that also protects them. Instead of just the government coming to climb on one, there should be another to speak for them, unlike what was existing as of then. That gave rise to the formation of NOPRIN. And NOPRIN was an idea that came from next Mr. Innocent Chukuma, who is also the founder of the Clean Foundation. And he did a lot in trying to ensure that we have better policing in the country. So we, over the years, have tried to make reforms in the area of capacity building. I won't talk a lot about the past, we are concentrating on what we are doing currently and what we have done in part as it relates to what we are doing currently. We have had capacity building for the Nigerian Police Force. And this year, we also had capacity building for the internal complaint mechanism of the Nigerian Police Force. So when we are talking about the internal complaint mechanism, we are referring to the police public complaint bureau. We are talking about the police complaint response unit. We are talking about the X squad. We are talking about the IG monitoring team and the provost marshal. These units actually form the internal complaint mechanism. And why was the training in the first place? There have been series of agitations from citizens about the consistent and constant abuse of human rights. So every system, it exists to also check itself. Outside the external oversight agency, which is the Police Service Commission, the internal mechanism are also supposed to check the excesses of the Nigerian Police Force or receive cases of abuses and also how to address these concerns. And over the years, they have been carrying out their mandates, but also the need to empower them more, retrain these officers to be able to make them to be more efficient and effective in carrying out the service delivery. And we saw the need to train them on Force Order 235 that talks about their duties, the ethics of the Nigerian Police Force as it's contained in the Police Act of 2020. So that was just a program, an activity we did, and we're looking forward to having another one here in Lagos. We also had Youth and Police Summit in 5 geopolitical zones. We had the one for Southeast in Abia, we had the one for Southwest, no, the one for South in Akwa Ibom, the one for Northwest in Kaduna, the one for Northeast in Bauchi, and the one for North Central in Benue State. And we're planning the one for Lagos next week. What was the essence of all this Youth and Police Summit? Over time, the youth and police have been at crossroads. And the youths have been the persons being recruited into police force. The youths have also been the persons that have suffered. 90% of youths are the ones suffering from police abuses. Those that are in police detention centers are the young persons. Those students that have had interface with the police are still the young persons.
Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel. Thank you so much. It's a lot of work NOPRIN Foundation is doing. And now that we're talking about the youth, we had the NSAS anniversary two days ago. Would you say that the NSAS anniversary was a success? The NSAS protest rather. Would you say it was a success?
Protest itself comes up in any countries as a result of gaps in inherent in the particular system. And Nigeria as a country have, once you even be talking about gaps, we'll be looking at potholes actually. And the essence of the NSAS was to actually cry out and make the public, make the government be more aware of the consistent torture being effected on citizens by the police, be it online, be it physically. There have been series of reports of unlawful detention by the Nigerian police force. And for us, in 2020, we actually, with the support from OCWA, were able to publish a book, Groaning in Pains, The Effect of Bad Policing on Nigeria. And you won't believe it that we were able to, at least on that very project, we sent about 50 petitions to the police force. That's to give you an idea of what citizens are going on, are experiencing, at the hands of these officers. And it throws to light that there's a lot to be desired, left to be desired, and there's a need to also address some of these concerns, which were the concerns raised during the NSAS about training and retraining of officers. Over time, we have had interviews with officers, and we have discovered that a lot of them are not enlightened. They don't have the necessary skills, they don't have the necessary capacity to carry out their policing duties. Many of them don't know the laws they should be protected, like the Administration of Criminal Justice Act that we have now, domicile also being enacted by different states. A lot of these officers, in their respective states, ask them what are the guidelines as in regards to arrest, detention, arresting you, and all those cases. Many of them do not really know. And this goes a long way to affect the rights of citizens as confirmed in the 1999 Constitution. So there's that need to actually develop the capacity of these officers for them to know more their roles and their duties, as also contained in the now enacted Police Act of 2020, which is one of the gains of NSAS protests. So, right?
Interesting.
Yeah. So outside that, there were also recommendation of increments in the salaries. Yeah. So as of the last year, around October, the federal government decided to also increase 20% of their remuneration, which a lot of us felt it should have been 100% because what they were already collecting was not good enough. But still, there was still something, an increment. So 20% increment. That's one. Also, SARS was finally ended. Let me just end SARS. So finally, we had SARS because before now we had SARS has been banned in 2017, banned in 2018, banned in 2019, 2020 again. So finally, the government of the day decided to actually
End SARS.
ban SARS for life, or end SARS for life, and further goes on trying to also punish erring officers. This year, there have been reports of quite a number of officers that have been punished, others that have been dismissed. But if you check some years back, nothing of sorts have happened, right? And also, many of the protesters that were in police detention have been freed as a result of this. So, for some of us, it's a success, and because without this, a lot of persons didn't even accept that certain persons were being oppressed or abused. And this brought to light a lot of these cases of abuses, and a lot of persons now they became aware. Even international community were aware as a result of this, because it was done not just online, physically it was also done online, and it actually helped.
So you can say the NSAS, the NSAS protest was a success. Now the question is if that's what we want. I mean, of course, you think or you believe that there's more work to do, but we would not say the protest was unsuccessful.
Yeah, there's still a lot to be done. The protest actually, for some of us, is a starting point, because when you are hitting somebody and say the person shouldn't talk, the person will be quiet, but it gets to a point that the person will start shouting, and that is protesting. That is what happened. So, and a lot happened while protesting or trying to advocate for this. A lot happened, and a lot of this, a lot happened during that period where these citizens trying to advocate for their rights were actually being punished. But in trying to give a feedback, there's need to do more, right? In the aspect of recruitment, it's the responsibility of the Police Service Commission to carry out recruitment, and they should be allowed. The police should calm down and allow them to do their role, their duty of recruitment. There's also need to also check the curriculum of the police colleges and see how we can improve on that. There's also need for equipment to be provided, right, to make them work better. There's also need to implement all those recommendations by at least 29 or 30 panels of inquiries that we had, which was a follow-up on NSAS. And outside is even their remuneration. At the same time, the oversight agency of the police, as the Police Service Commission, should be empowered to work better, as well as the police complaint responsibility.
Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel. It was a pleasure. So the nice experience speaking with you today. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me, and I appreciate you also, Precious, for the good work you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.